Yes, welcome. Here we go again. Aussie Mac Zone, another week, another great episode of The Zone, talking about everything Mac and the iPhones and iPads and more. iPad Airs, iPad Minis and Mac Airs and all the good stuff. And tonight we are joined by the one and only Michael. Hello, Michael. How you doing?
Hello, Glenn. Hello, everybody. Yes, it's unusual to have you here.
Well, I'm 50%, aren't I? I'm about a week on, week off sort of guy, you know. But yes,
We're supposed to be a week on, week off.
Yes, but there was an extra Tuesday or something last month which spun me out. I couldn't handle it. What am I going to do with this extra Tuesday? I had a meltdown. But anyway, yeah, so we've got another show. We've got heaps of stories for you. We've got some real-life experiences maybe. Not of that kind, but of the Apple kind. So we'll, get straight into it, eh? So the show is brought to you by Aussie Tech Heads Web Hosting. So if you want to build a website, you can, and you just go to athwebhosting.com.au. You can install WordPress, which is the most popular blogging platform in the world. You can install that once you've logged in, within probably, 5 clicks, something like that. It's simple. Heaps of YouTube videos about it. So, have a dabble. It's athwebhosting.com.au. You get a website from about $5.95 per month, and it's Australian service. So, you're supporting the local community. So, good on you. All right. Let's start with Michael. I know he's got a couple of stories. He's hot off the train. Where are you starting at this week, Michael?
All right. So I've got one that's bringing the figures into context. It's a CNBC story, but over the last month, Apple stock has risen 17%. This means the company is now worth $90 billion more than a month ago. $90 billion more than it was a month ago.
Well, how much were they? Weren't they worth something like $760 billion anyway?
Yes. It's just, that's right. It goes up 20%, doesn't it? Like 17%.
When's a trillion? Is that like 1,000 billion? Let me look this up. Let's have a look.
Look that up.
You look that up. You keep you keep talking about them.
Yeah. So that $90 billion is more than the current market cap of 460 out of the S&P 500, which is the top 500 companies in America.
Wow.
So there's only 40 of them that are worth more than $90 billion. And in 1 month, Apple has added more value than companies such as, McDonald's, Boeing, Goldman Sachs, or Nike. So Nike's worth, $87 billion or whatever it's worth. Yeah. Apple's just in that 1 month added $90 billion to their value.
That is rude.
Let's just brings it into context. It's more than, like, they've got this food stamp thing in America where they subsidise your food for low income people.
Yeah.
That $90 billion is more than that cost America in 2013, just to give you an idea. And another thing, it was twice as much as pet owners in America spent on their pets in 2013.
Oh, my God. That's some big numbers, isn't it? That's really big. Now, how does it say how? So it's gone up 20. What is it sitting at now? What is the net or the worth of Apple now?
Oh,
is it?
I should be able to look in.
Was it like
notifications and?
Yeah. Was it? So it was like 700 odd billion. Is that right? Because I've looked up, well, if you can try and find how much it is worth, because I'll tell you now that 1 trillion, now it depends where you are, where you come from, means different things, like billions are different in the US or in the British system. Now, for example, in the British system, 1 trillion is 1 million billion. So that's big. 1 million billion is a trillion. Yeah. Now in the British system, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 18 zeros. But in America, now, you know how America's always, they're talking about trillions because it's a little bit smaller. So in the American system, 1 trillion is 1,000 billion. Now, Microsoft is just shy then, last month, of 1/10 of a trillion. So, it's getting more, spins you out more, doesn't it? Different ways you say it.
Yeah.
Nearly 1/10 of $1 trillion they made. Or their net's worth went up, or their worth went up. So that's massive. And in the American system, 9 zeros. Oh, no, it's not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 12. 12 zeros for $1 trillion. Whew. Yeah, wow. It's too much for me. What are they going to do with all this money? Yeah. What did you find out?
Today's current market cap at the close of theirs, which would have been yesterday, I think, yeah. So it was $669.65 billion.
So, being an American company, you could say that's on their way to 1 trillion.
Yeah.
They'll be the first to get there, I reckon. Do you reckon?
And they're shifting around like 59 million shares. Like the average volume of shares was 59 million.
Yeah. That's the figures just blow your mind, don't they? Like, I don't understand, like, what's their end game? Like, do they just want to just keep amassing this huge amount of money?
World domination.
Well, they're probably richer than, what, I don't know, the poorest 100 countries.
Yeah.
You know, like,
at least.
Yeah, like, are they going to use their money for good? One will... But see, that's not all in one spot. Like, unlike with, say, like Bill Gates, he used his money, you know, he started up his fund and he's out trotting around trying to finish off polio and all this sort of stuff. But he had his personal fortune of, it was about 60 billion, wasn't it? It was something massive. So he's given all this away. But there's not probably one owner. There's probably not one owner of Apple. So they don't.
No. There's like superannuation funds and things like that are the major owners from what I can gather.
Yeah. So, but they don't. Does Apple? Well, you probably don't know. I'm not sure. Do they pay dividends? But they never used to. I think.
Yes.
They always.
No. But that's something that Tim's introduced.
Well, you'd have to because I think, but even if they, by changing their minds and saying to offer dividends, probably going to make it more attractive, their worth will go up more because, you know, people are going to start getting money back for their shares.
It did. And it went up quite considerably. I'm just trying to find the last amount that they gave out. Here's the dividend history. Sorry.
Because you're looking that up. I'm going to look up, and because, you know, while we're talking about it, we'll look up and see how much one share is worth.
And remember, it had a 7-way split just a little while ago.
Oh yes, that's right. Because now, what have we got here? Now we've got. It's only worth $114. Well, that can't be right. That must have been that.
Yeah, but multiply that by 7, and that'll tell you what it was worth just a little while ago.
Yeah, okay. So 113 by 7, be about 780, something like that.
Yeah.
And what else can I tell you? RBC Capital Markets on Monday increased its price target for Apple stock to $120 per share. Now, in the first year, it is expected that the Apple Watch, you're not allowed to call it the iWatch apparently, but the Apple Watch.
No, it's not an iWatch, it's the Apple Watch.
Yes. In its first year, predicted to revenue $10 billion. So why can't we get some of this?
All right, so this will give you an idea. In February, they distributed $2.6 billion in dividends.
Oh, that's chicken feed. That's chicken feed.
And they do that, so they've done that, say, 4 times this year, or they'll do that 4 times over the year. So that's $10 billion over the year they've given back.
Well, that's good.
Effectively as interest, isn't it?
Well, I guess so, yeah. And well, they've got to do something. Like that. You can't just keep amassing and just amassing and amassing, surely. What, until you got all the money in the world? Then what are you going to do?
So, but a long time ago, you were talking about Bill. He gave, when Apple were in dire straits, they got, was it $564 million Microsoft gave Apple when Microsoft were on a high and Apple were on a low. And that was something like just the money they were getting in one day from their non-performing bank accounts, which is where you keep money in the bank, so in case you want to buy someone in a hurry, buy another company in a hurry, that's a non-performing account, right? Well, doesn't give good interest and things. And that was all the money that they were getting in one day from their non-performing accounts.
Well, you know, there was the chick that just retired from the Westpac Bank, Gail Kelly. Is that her name? Yeah. She was something. Was it? I didn't fact check this, but I heard that she's $35,000 a day. That is just a massive amount of money, and so
must have a different lifestyle than us. Do you think?
She's got a different hairstyle, but probably because she's a girl. So what was I going? Yeah, now Bill, that's right. Because years ago, I remember the old story that Bill Gates on his way to a meeting, he drops $30,000 out of his pocket. It's more economical for him to keep going than to stop and pick it up. Yes. Because where he was going is going to make him more money than, and time is money, and that was the analogy of it all, and all. So this was massive. All right, now have we finished with that one? I think we've
yes, mate. Yes,
we've digested Apple's worth enough.
Unbelievable, yeah.
It is, yeah. Dividend yield 1.65%. There you go. There's nothing else I can tell you. Blah blah blah. It's all blah blah blahs. All right. Yeah. Now, here is my story coming up. How about this one? Now, you might have... this actually affected our household this week. Kim's on the MacBook she's got. She's going, Wi-Fi's broken. And I looked at my phone. No, it's not. It's all going all right. So I went for a trip around the house. All going all right. So turn it off and on. So she turns it off and on, and it came back on, and it drops back out again. And, and I'm going, I don't know. I said, I'll deal with it later. It kept coming back on, so it was all right. But anyway, yesterday, our time. Well, yesterday, their time, but today our time. Work that one out. They've released a fix for Yosemite 10 point. I don't know. Can you say version numbers in 10.10.1 or is it 10.10.1?
10.10.1. 0.1, yeah.
All right, so 10.10.1's been released, and it's going to fix up the Wi-Fi dropping issues. So that's all good. Now, what else? It's going to do a couple of other little things. Sorry?
And it was nice of you to arrange it so that Apple would do that to keep you out of trouble with the family.
Well, it was nice that they decided to release it pretty much straight away after we got the problem, so I didn't spend 3 days looking into it. And spend 3 hours.
It must be one of those new contacts you got from your trip overseas.
Yes. Yeah, well, so you're lucky as too, Michael, because I would have been on a call to you for 3 hours as well. So what's going wrong with this Wi-Fi? Yeah, so
thank you, Lord.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean. Grief has been erased from both our lives. The Yosemite update comes after Apple also released iOS 8.1.1 today. Is there an iOS release as well?
Yep.
Is that right? I didn't see that come up on my phone. Let me have a quick little squeezer. Settings. Oh, no. I might have to do update, do I? Check for updates.
You have to check for updates. Yeah, it's not in Australia. It hasn't actually been pushed down to us yet.
Right. Because my latest update is in a minute. Oh, no. Yes, there it is. 8. It's only 43 meg. And what's that going to fix? Anything exciting?
That's going to fix, I'll tell you in a sec. I'll just get on to 8.1. So we have bug fixes and several bug fixes.
Yeah, so
it was first seeded on November the 3rd to developers. And remember, there's also one for the Apple TV for people.
Oh,
they may forget that as well, just to smooth it out a bit.
We'll have to go and jump on the Apple TV later on, because that's the thing. Sometimes, because if they're not pushed, or sometimes you don't use one of the Apple TVs in the house for a while or something, and you find every time you turn stuff on, everything needs updating all the time.
Yeah, and you've turned it on to do something specific, like watch a movie or whatever, and
then you got updates.
And the family goes, "Oh, Dad."
That's right. Yeah, you got that whining tone down well. That's exactly how they go. Exactly. Wow. You must have had kids, Michael. All right. What else have you got news-wise that you thought would be interesting?
Oh, well, yes. I found this. It's an Australian Business Insider story, and it's Apple people and Android people even eat different foods.
Oh.
So there's a UK, now remember this is a UK story, market research and polling company called YouGov, YOUGOV, and they've released a fascinating tool where you look things up. And so we've got here that the average Apple user, this is in the UK, the average Apple user is 25 to 39-year-old female, in social grade ABC1, a job in media or publishing or marketing, and with more than £1,000 disposable cash. And she's likely to live in the most expensive regions of Upper London, Central Scotland, London, or along the south coast, and she's split right down the middle when it comes to political leanings. Meanwhile, customers of Android are more likely to be younger males who live in the poorest parts of the UK. His political preferences lean far to the left, and he's likely to have a job in IT, media, and publishing or energy and utilities.
Yeah, okay.
And he's probably lowest rung in his career ladder and with less than £125 to spend each month. So you can see why we're so broke, mate, because it's everybody in this IT industry just having any money.
Well, that's right. Well, that's why Apple's so rich, isn't it? They're taking everyone's money.
They've got it and we haven't.
Yeah.
So this whole thing, they go on to say, so tied in first place for an Apple's owner's favourite dish are grilled halloumi and nachos.
Oh, yummy.
And then meanwhile, the Android owner apparently, and this is bizarre considering we know their income, is roast pigeon. That's their preferred meal.
Have you ever eaten pigeon?
No, I haven't. I must admit I haven't done that.
Wouldn't be much of a meal.
Things like, no, you'd have to have lots of chips with it.
Yeah. Well, pigeons eat chips. Just say, I'll have a pigeon, leave the guts in, please. There's your chips.
Thanks a lot. So, the Apple person's favourite movies are Home Alone, Love Actually, Frozen, The Tourist, The In-Betweeners or Breaking Bad. But Android owners have some more unusual top entertainments like Kelly's Heroes, Alien vs. Predator, The Italian Job, Brassed Off.
Yeah, okay. Now, that's interesting, isn't it? You wonder how these polls are conducted. Half of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is interesting, and I suppose, Apple is more of a social statement, I guess, isn't it? You know, like you say, you sport.
I'd have to agree with that.
Yeah, you sporting an Apple iPhone and or Apple Watch, and you know, people look at you and go, "Oh yeah, doing all right." You get around with an Android and something else, they go, "Oh yeah, tosspot."
Commoner.
Yeah, commoner. God. Yeah, but that's interesting. That's a good little story.
It's just...
Yeah, like £1,000 disposable income. I thought that's what. So people don't have that sort of money to throw around.
That's a lot of money to have spare at the end of every month.
Oh yeah, out of your wage?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have that. Jeez, I don't get a wage. So
married with children, there's no way you having that, son.
Ah, that's right. And probably my kids probably have more disposable income than me.
Yeah, but they earn it. They're not doing that IT crap.
No, that's right. No, that's right. All the servers and the lighting, the cooling. It's a lot to run. It's a lot to run. And, yeah, all right. Now, what, real life world experiences, is that what we promised? I think we did. So what have I found out this week in my travels? Well, I was just talking to Michael before the show about this one now. I had a customer who had he bought a new iPad, and he had this problem previously. Every time he plugged his iDevice into the machine, into a Windows machine, Windows laptop, it would connect and disconnect, connect and disconnect. So you could hear it doing this because you hear the USB ding tones, a ding ding, ding dong, like that, like the family feud buzzer. So you hear that, and then you'd be doing a backup. You get halfway through, and it says lost connection with the phone. You pull your hair out. Like, it does the same to me as well on mine here. Sometimes you plug your phone in, and it'll just go, can't detect phone, or did detect for a second and then just lost it, and you just go, this is just driving me insane. But anyway, apparently he trotted off to the Apple store today, and what the problem was that it was AVG, they reckon. So he turned the AVG off. Bang. Easy. Didn't disconnect anymore. After that, I went to the Apple website. There's a bit of a write-up on antivirus programs, and this is to do with the Windows, antivirus programs and iTunes, and you've got to you've got to read it, and there's a whole list of ports that if you've got issues, then you can just allow these ports through the firewall and so forth. So look, it is there. It's not easy to find, because it's not, you type into Google, you Google like iPad disconnect, connect, can't back up, disconnect, session terminated, blah, blah, blah. And half the time you don't get nothing. There's nothing relevant, or you get stuff, well, you do get relevant stuff, but nothing that works. But if you've got the same problem, try your antivirus program. Turn it off, and if it works, just turn it on and start letting a few ports go through or something. But very interesting.
That's excellent. There is a bit of information out there, isn't there?
Yeah, once you know what you're looking for, like if you type in iTunes and antivirus programs, well, yeah, once you think you know what you're looking for, you'll get the answer.
And it's annoying that we've got to do that even for the USB tools these days. And maybe part of that is because that there's that virus that's on the USB stick, so that they would have had to have covered that off reasonably quickly. So that may just be controlling more information going in and out of your computer.
Yeah, so look, it's just a lot of hubbubaloo, isn't it? It's just pretty terrible. I don't know why this works like this, but anyway, it's with with everything. It's not the you're not looking for the right answer. You're just looking for the right question. That's the
Yeah, that's the biggest trick, isn't it?
That's right. It's not the answer you got to worry about. It's the getting the right question is the problem, and because then the answer will come, just like that, just like a puff of dust in the wind. It'll come to you through the Google pipes. Yeah. And what other little thing was I talking about before? I don't know. Another real life experience, but I'll let Michael do Did you have a tip this week?
No, I
forget what you said. Sorry.
No. I just had those two stories this week.
Oh yeah. There was something else that I had done that I figured out, but now I just can't remember what it was.
I have to ask you the right question, don't I?
That's exactly right. But look, we'll fill in another couple of minutes. Let's go to the hot off the press. Let's do this. Where's news? Hot off the press.
Well, there's another. Microsoft's got another ad where it's picking on the MacBook Air and singing the praises of the Surface Pro 3. And speaking of, just reminded me, there was it was election time in America this week, and Microsoft apparently had paid several news broadcasters departments to use Surface Pros to do the reporting. And then photos have been taken off to the side where they've got the Surface Pro there with the iPad behind it. So the news presenter's actually looking at the iPad and doing the things on the iPad, but it makes it look like a Surface Pro from the front.
Oh, no. Don't. No, you can't. That's not right, is it?
Like, just lack of thought in the marketing department there, mate.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. It's pretty terrible. But look, here's another one for you. This one's headed up the secret apps that Apple doesn't want you to know about.
Okay.
Here we go.
I'm ready.
Yes, well, we'll soon see how good this story is. If you've got an iPhone or an iPad, there are a fair number of apps you can download for free. Oh, what's this? I got an error code in my thing. What does that mean?
Do you? I'm sorry to hear that you've had an error code, my friend. Yeah, especially in your thing. You don't want an error code in your thing.
Definitely not. Definitely not. I think I don't know what happened there. We'll hit that button there again, see what happens.
See what happens when you download stuff from the wrong place. You get an error code in your thing.
Oh, I hate errors in my thing. Now, but did you know that there's a secret cache of Apple apps that no one but geniuses can download? Did you know? Well, I didn't know. There is, and they range from basic flight sim game to Tank Battler to an internal newspaper only Apple employees can read. Here we go. It's building us up, isn't it? Yeah, it's building us up. Okay, so here we go. Apple Connect, and the daily download. These are the newspaper employees, blah, blah, blah. Now, how do we get them? Over at Business Insider, they've put together a rundown of all the apps that only Apple employees get to use. Okay, let's go to Business Insider. This is getting interesting. I bet you won't be able to get them. It'll just be telling you what they are. You won't get them.
Yeah, well, if they're only available internally to Apple, there's no way you can get them because it'll be part of that enterprise software, I'd imagine.
Apple Connect is the secure employee-only service that lets Apple employees sign into other apps and services. Interestingly, internal Apple apps often make use of the Android-style swipe pattern system. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Daily download. It's an internal newspaper. Oh, yeah, so this is a rubbish story. It's not going to...
We've got that. We've got a daily download.
Yeah.
On Aussie Tech Kids.
That's right. A daily app download. So,
as well.
Yeah, as well.
What have Apple got besides $90 million more
exactly.
in the last month than us?
Yeah, that's right. Mongrels. But anyway, look, that's a misleading story. I thought they were going to tell us how to get them, but they're not. So don't bother reading that.
Clickbait, gotcha.
Yeah, probably did too. Yeah. Now, what were you talking about? I was going to go on about something then. I keep forgetting my train of thought this week. I don't know.
Must be all those holidays you've had.
Must have been. Okay, let's have a look. What else can we find here that's interesting?
Retina iMac orders have been pushed back for the holidays. They're having trouble making the screens or making enough of the screens.
Oh, yeah. Is that, what's that Mac, that cylinder Mac, is that out yet?
Mac Pro? Yeah. It's been out for months.
Can you buy one?
Yes. Yeah, if you've got enough money. They start at $2,000 or something, $2,500 and go up from there.
Something like that.
And then you got to hang off drives off the end of it, remember? Because it's only got an SSD drive inside of it. Then you've got to have your other drives on the outside of it. Yeah,
right. Yes, okay. Well, I think there's not that much going on this week. It was a pretty quiet week. Tim didn't really put pen to paper too much. He was just hiding away at one infinite loop. How's their spaceship coming along? You know?
Yeah, rocking. Yeah, someone's putting out drone pictures about every month, and apparently the quality's improving too. Like they're doing more editing to make them better.
Oh, yeah, right.
No one can they can't really admit to doing it because you're not allowed to fly drones around in America.
Right.
So it's illegal, so they can't really say, Apple can't say, well, we put a drone out and then we edit the film and do all that sort of stuff. They're just turning up on different sites.
Yes. So, and what about Steve Jobs' boat? Wasn't that was for sale at one stage? Let's have a look.
Yeah, I don't know what his missus did about that.
That was a nice
Apple
boat.
Scanner Mouse dynamically adjusts resolution display images on housing. There's a new patent and trademark granted Apple, an invention covering a mouse peripheral with built-in chromatic sensor to deal with tracking issues inherent in conventional while acting as a handheld scanner. So you can just run it along and scan the page as well.
Oh, yeah. That's all right. Apple has reached a deal that will allow consumers in China to use the country's most popular payment card to make purchases on the Apple Store, on the App Store.
Yeah.
The new payment option lets Apple ID users in China link their accounts with UnionPay's debit or credit cards for one-touch purchases of apps. Yeah, anything to do with China is just massive. What is there, 7 billion people there or something?
Yeah.
That's just, Apple's probably going to go higher. Crazy. All right. Well, seeing that's a slow week, I think that's about it. We might have to end up there. So Jace is on, where is he? And kids of Stedford or something this week. So he should be back next week. The new web page is coming soon. Don't forget the facebook.com/Aussie Tech Heads for free iOS apps of the day. If there's any interesting ones, that is, I'll post them up there. So click on over and like us and make sure you follow us. And you can also do the Aussie Tech Radio.com, AUSSIE Tech Radio. And it's got 24/7 shoutcasts of Aussie tech shows and a couple of New Zealand shows just thrown in to even it out. So we know what's going on. We've got the Southern Hemisphere covered. All right, cool.
Excellent.
So you got nothing else, Michael? You're up once tonight, so you're right. You're right, and the bill's in the mail. All right. So until next week, where it'll be just Michael and Jace again, I'll probably see you in a couple of weeks. So until such time, have a happy Mac week, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.